Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudhirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhāgavata-sevayā Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I think we are reading in the Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 6 chapter 1. Am I right? Is it from verse number 55? Part5?
No, Prabhuji, I think verse 42 you explained till verse 42.
Till 42 explain. Okay. 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 42. But I think we did cover.
You completed the reading, the recitation of the verses, but
Yeah. But explanation went only till 42.
yeah, for 42. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay. I'm just reviewing from 42 then. Okay. Yeah, there 40, 42. Yeah, I think we discussed about that Suryo Agnikam Marudeva Soma Sandhya Ahani Dishaha Kam Kuh Swayam Dharma Iti Hi Ete Daityasya Sakshi Naha. So we were discussing that there are these witnesses: sun, fire, sky, air, demigod, moon, evening, day, night, directions, water, land, and super soul himself. All witnesses the activities of the living entity. Yeah. So एतैर् अधर्मो विज्ञातः स्थानं दण्डस्य युज्यते सर्वे कर्मानुरोधेन दण्डम् अर्हन्ति कारिणः. The candidates for punishment are those who are confirmed by many witnesses to have deviated from their prescribed regulative duties. Everyone engaged in futile activities is suitable to be subjected to punishment according to his sinful acts. So, it's not that everyone is treated alike. Everyone is treated in one way alike, because everyone who has committed sin, they will be treated accordingly. But to the degree of one committing sin, he will be punished accordingly. In fact, sambhavanti badrani viparitani chanagaha karanam gunasangosti dehavan na hi akarmakrit. Akarmakrit means without performing action. Hmm? He's saying, O inhabitants of Vaikuntha, you are sinless, but those within this material world are all karmis, whether acting piously or impiously. Hmm? Both kinds of actions are possible for them because they are contaminated by the three modes of material nature. Therefore, all living entities, let me also share while we are walking through so that you don't see me. You able to see my screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So here it says in the purport, the difference between human beings and non-human beings is that a human is supposed to act according to the directions of the Vedas. Unfortunately, men manufacture their own ways of acting without reference to the Vedas. Therefore, all of them commit sinful actions and are punishable. So, if you see how many are really know Vedas? How many of us know the value of Vedas? How many of us, in spite of knowing the values of Vedas, may not be able to embrace the instructions from the Vedas? Vedaischa sarvam ahameva vedyah vedanta krit vedakrit chaiva aham. Krishna is saying, so the purpose of Vedas is to understand and approach me, to know me. Therefore, one who does not become Krishna conscious, one who doesn't understand this, that the whole purpose of Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita that after all, Vedaischa sarvam, all the Vedas, ahameva vedyah, the whole object of all the Vedas is me. Mm. Vedanta krit vedaicha chaham. So one should understand that otherwise there is no difference between humans and non-humans. And non-humans, yeah, when we talk, they are punished. And how they are punished? Yena yavan yatha dharmo veha samihitaha sa eva tat phalam bhukte tatha tavad amutra vai. Amutra vai, in the next life, indeed what is happening, one is punished. In the proportion to the extent, this is important, in the proportion to the extent of one's religious or irreligious actions in this life, one must enjoy or suffer the corresponding reactions of his karma in the next. Uh, Krishna himself is saying about this whole tree, banyan tree, and in that he's also mentioning Urdhvam gachanti sattvasta madhya tishtanti rajasa jaganya guna vrittistha adho gachanti tamasa. Adho gachanti means going down. Those who act in the mode of goodness are promoted to higher planetary systems to become demigods. Those who act in an ordinary way and do not commit excessively sinful acts remain within this middle planetary system, and those who perform abominable sinful actions must go down to hellish planets. Yateha deva pravaraha त्रैविध्यम उपलभ्यते भूतेषु गुण वैचित्र्यात् तथान्यत्रानु मीयते. Anumiyate means what is the conclusion is said. They are telling, the Yamadutas are telling to Vishnudutas, they say, we can see three different varieties of life, which are due to contamination of three modes of nature. The living entities are thus known as peaceful, restless, and foolish, as happy, unhappy, or in between. So that is the reason we feel ourselves lost. Are we really happy, or are we really restless? Are we really peaceful? There's a lot of confusion. We can deduce that in the next life, these three kinds of material nature will similarly act. How? Just like last year, there was summer. Last before year, there was summer. If we just think 4 years back, yeah, we saw 4 years back summer, and 4 years forward, there is summer. Now the year where we are. So in this way, we can deduce that in the next life, these three kinds of material nature will similarly act. Uh, and yeah, vartamane anyayo kalo gunabhi napako yatha evam janmanyayor etad dharma nidarshanam. Dharma and adharma nidarshanam. Nidarshanam means proof or indicating. Just as springtime in the present indicates, yeah, the same example, nature of springtimes in the past and future, so this life of happiness, distress, or a mixture of both gives evidence concerning the religious and irreligious activities of one's past and future lives. This statement clearly says that karma works. It's not like karma is a philosophy, it's a theory. No, this is saying that what we are suffering now, it has a strong reason because we messed up something in the last life. मनसैव पुरे देवः पूर्वरूप विपश्यति अनु मीमांसते अपूर्वम मनसा भगवान अजः. Then Yamaraj, The omnipotent Yamaraj is as good as Lord Brahma, for while situated in his own abode or in everyone's heart like the Paramatma, he mentally observes the past activities of living entity and thus understands how the living entity will act in future lives. So, Yamaraj, yeah, where is he? We may think, oh, he has his own Pitraloka, his home is there, yeah. But when we say Paramatma is inside us and Paramatma is witnessing, that witnessing is done by the expansion of the Lord in the form of Yamaraj. One should not consider Yamaraj an ordinary living being. He is as good as Lord Brahma. He has the complete cooperation of the Supreme Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart, and therefore, by the grace of Super Soul, he can see the past, present, and future of a living being from within. The word Anumimamsayate means that he can decide in the consultation with the Super Soul. Anu means falling. The actual decision concerning the next life of living entities are made by Super Soul and they are carried out by Yamaraj. So, यथाज्ञस्तमसा युक्ता उपास्ते व्यक्तम एव हि न वेद पूर्वम अपूर्वम अपरम नष्टजन्म स्मृतिस्तथा. As a sleeping person acts according to the body manifested in his dreams and accepts it to be himself. So one identifies with his present body, which he acquired because of his past religious or irreligious actions, and is unable to know his past or future lives. So that is the situation that we think. And a man engages in sinful activities because he does not know what he did in his past life to get his present materially conditioned body, which is subjected to the threefold miseries. So sometimes we may ask if if forgetting about what we did and committing the sin is the real cause of our suffering. First of all, why should we undergo that forgetfulness? Hmm? Of what we have done in the last life, last before life, all this life. Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma. A human being who is mad after sense gratification does not hesitate to act sinfully. Yet indriya pritaya apnoti, he performs sinful actions. Nasadu manye. And all this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, where Rishabhadev is telling to his sons, or instructing his sons. It should be understood that a person who does not have Vedic knowledge always acts in ignorance of what he has done in the past, what is he doing at the present, and will suffer in the future. He is completely in darkness. Hmm. And we have this Vedic injunctions, tamasa ma jyotirgamaya. Hmm. Don't remain in darkness, try to go into the light. Yeah, and then here in Swara Upanishad it said, Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tata guru tasyaiti katita hi artha prakashante mahatmanaha. Very often this is referred. Yasya deve para bhaktir. Yasya deve tatha guru. So here, yatha deve tatha guru. Here it is said, unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master. Yatha deve tatha guru. Just like the Lord. All tasyaiti katita hi artha. All the imports of Vedic knowledge, prakashante, they themselves will illuminate or revealed. Vedic knowledge are automatically revealed. So it's very important that we need to understand this knowledge, and this whole goes further. And then we are already in which verse 50? What is it? So पंचभी कुरुते स्वार्थान् पंचवेदात पंचभिः एकस्तु षोडशेन त्रीन् स्वयं सप्तदशो अश्नुते. Saptadasha is 17 and Shodasha means 16. And what are the 16? The body binds to material life with in the form of what? Five working senses, five knowledge acquiring senses, five objects of senses, one mind, and then three categories of experiences are is mentioned that soul, the 17th, actually the soul is entangled by the 16 objects. And what is mentioned here? The living being enjoys three kinds of situations, namely happiness, distress, and mixed. Yes. Yes. Anadi karma phale padi bhavarnava jale taribhare na dekhi upay. This is in one of the poems of Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, "My dear Lord, I cannot remember when I somehow or other fell into this ocean of nescience, and now I can find no way to rescue myself." So we should remember that everyone is responsible for his own life. If an individual becomes a pure devotee of Krishna, he is then delivered from the ocean of nescience. तत् एतत् षोडश कलं लिंगम शक्ति त्रयं महत् दत्ते अनुस अनुसंस्मृतिं पुंसि हर्ष शोक भयार्तिदाम. Harsha as jubilation, Shoka as lamentation, Bhaya is fear, Arthi, misery. Shoka Bhayati Dham. What is happening is the subtle body, after explaining that, subtle body is endowed with 16 parts, the five knowledge acquiring senses, and all these things. And then in all conditions, however, he is actually miserable. One may think, oh, let me take one body to another in human life, animal life, life as a demigod, all these things are there, but eventually he is miserable. His miserable condition is called samsriti or transmigration in material life. So when we are talking about what is this? Darwin's theory. Says that after all, the butterfly came out from what is that? Uh, Caterpillar. Uh, it
Yes,
keeps
caterpillar.
caterpillar. It desired. It wanted to become a butterfly. And anyway, there are so many. And Darwin theories. One we came from what? Apes, right? From monkeys. All these things. No, in one way, the spiritual understanding is that yes, of course, we undergo through a transmigration, but what transmigration is? The transmigration in material life is gradually from one body to the other body. Hmm. So here it is said, is struggling alone, life after life. This struggle is called samsmriti or material conditional life. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the force of middle nature is insurmountably strong. Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya. Uh, uh, and mam eva yet prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. But only when who mam eva hi prapadyante, one who only surrendered to me. Maya metam tarantite. Crossing the Maya is very easy. Thus his life becomes successful. Hmm. So it is that this the sum and substance of middle condition life is explained in this, that all this subtle body is an effect of three modes of material nature. It is composed of insurmountably strong desires. Subtle body. What is that? Manas, Krodha, Manas, Buddhi, Ahankar. It is composed of insurmountably strong desires, mind, and therefore it causes the living entity to transmigrate from one body to another body, whether it is human or animal or demigod, doesn't matter. Dehyagno jita shad vargo nechan karmani karyate koshakara ivatmanam karmanachadya muhyati. And now comes the foolish embodied living entity, inept at controlling his senses and mind, is forced to act according to the influence of modes of nature. And now this example of silkworm, what is happening? He is like a silkworm that uses its own saliva to create a cocoon and then becomes trapped in it with no possibility of getting out. Hmm. Getting free is very difficult unless he is helped by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, thus, He is always bewildered and repeatedly he dies. This is what happens. न हि कश्चिन् क्षणम् अपि जातु तिष्ठति अकर्मकृत् कार्यते हि अवशः कर्म गुणे स्वाभाविकैर्बलात्. Now, not a single living, not a single living entity can remain unengaged even for a moment. One must act by his natural tendency according to the three modes of material nature. Because this natural tendency forcibly makes him work in a particular way. Swabhavikair balat, by force or forcefully according to his nature. Sometimes we think, hey, why I have spoken like that? Why did I do like this? This is not my nature. But swabhavika, who knows? Hmm? The swabhavika or one's natural tendency is the most important factor in action, and because of that one undergoes severe suffering. One should be enlightened in the tenets of Bhagavad Gita and accept the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that one give up all natural tendency for material service under different names and take up to the service of the Lord. So one's original natural tendency is to act in Krishna consciousness, but somehow we got covered, and that's why we are not doing that. Miche Mayara, Miche Mayara Vashe Yacha Beshe Kacha Habudube Bhai. This Habudube is the waves. Yeah, he's saying you are being carried away by the waves of material energy and are suffering in many miserable conditions. Sometimes you are drowning in the waves of material nature, and sometimes you are tossed like a swimmer struggling in the ocean. So we have to understand this, and we have to know the trick to escape from this suffering. Labdha nimitta avyaktam vyakta vyaktam bhavati uta yatha yoni yatha bijam swabhavena baliyasa. So, and now it says the um, the fruto activities a living being performs, whether pious or impious, are the unseen cause of cause for the fulfillment of his desires. This unseen cause is the root cause for the living entity's different bodies. Huh? Because of his intense desire, the living entity takes birth in a particular family and receives a body which is either like that of his mother or like that of his father. Huh? The gross and subtle bodies are created according to his desires. This is one thing. And then, yeah, एष प्रकृतिसङ्गेन पुरुषस्य विपर्यया आसीत् स एव न चिरात् ईशसङ्गात् विलीयते. Since the living entity is associated with material nature, he is in an awkward position. But if in the human form of life he is taught how to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotee, his position can be overcome. So this is all what our Yamadutas are telling, what is, who should be punished and who should not be punished. So, and then I am here, Sruta, and now is saying, what happened with this in this case? Oh, all they are speaking very nice, like from reading from a book. And अयं हि श्रुतसम्पन्ना शीलवृत्ता गुणालयः धृतव्रतो मृदुर्दान्तः सत्यवान् मन्त्रविच्छुचिः शुचिः गुर्वाग्नि अतिथि वृद्धानां शुश्रूषुर् अनहङ्कृत सर्वभूतसुहृत् साधुर्मित वाग् अनसूयकः. So these are the qualities. Yeah, I've just listed them here. Shruta Sampanna is one of the most important, because Shruti are the Vedas. Shruta Sampanna means one who is educated in Vedas. Sheela means good character. Vritta means good conduct. Guna means all good qualities fixed in executing Vedic injunctions. He is very mrudu, means very mild, soft. Danta, at the same time, he doesn't just compromise his standards. He is completely controlled mind and senses. Satyavak, always truthful. Uh, and then there is also this Satyavan mantra, which Suchihi. Mantravit means knowing how to chant Vedic hymns. Suchi, very clean and neat. Guru, Agni, Athidi, Vruddhavan, Sushusha. So first, he always fulfilled instructions of his guru. Very well, very much honored the guests and Vruddhavan, Sushusha, and didn't miss any opportunity to serve aged Vruddhavan, Sushruta by serving them. And then Sadhu, well behaved, Mitavak, only talking with great care not to speak nonsense. Uh, Anasuyaha, this is highlight, not envious. In Bhagavad Gita, there is 18th chapter, yeah, where we are reading also there are the qualities of Brahmana, and then there is also qualities Abhayam, Sattva, Samsuddhir, Jnanam, Yogam, Vyavasthiti, Dhanam, Damascha, Yagnascha, Swabhavyam, Swadhyayas, Tapah, Arjavam, Ahimsa, Sattva, Akrodas, Tyaga, Shantir, Aparisutnam, Daya, Bhuteshva, Aloluptvam, Mardhavam, Hrir, Achapalam, Teja, Kshama, Triti, Saucham, Adroho Nati Manitaha. So there are these 24 qualities, 21 or 24 qualities which is considered to be knowledge and remaining Droha Nati Manita Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim Abhijatasya Bharata. So remaining everything is not knowledge. This is what is summary. Okay, coming back to Yamaraj, the Yamadutas are explaining the factual position of piety and impiety and how a living entity is entangled in this material world. Uh, in this case, the symptoms of piety are explained as this verse. What are the qualities he had? So Veera Raghavacharya is saying, Dhrita Vrata. Uh, means dhritam vritam stri sangarahityaatmaka brahmacharya rupam. In this way, in other words, Ajamil followed the rules and regulations of celibacy as a perfect brahmachari and was very soft-hearted, truthful, clean, and pure. Now, how he fell down in spite of all these qualities and thus came to be threatened by punishment with punishment by Yamaraj. This is what we will cover in the next verses. Ekadaso vanam yataha. Once upon a time, in the forest, because he said, Pitra sandesha krit dvijaha adaya tata avrittaha phala pushpa samit kushan tadarsha kaminam kanchin chu shudram saha bunjishyaya पीत्वा च मधु मैरेयं मधाघूर्णित नेत्रया अमत्तया विश्लतन्निव्या व्यपे व्यपेतं निरपत्रपं क्रीडन्तम् अनुगायन्तं हसन्तम् अनयान्तिके. So somehow he came across a scene that it was quite disturbing for him, that he got completely bewildered. Of course, he went to the forest to get some, what is that, phala and what are things? Adesha, phala pushpa, yeah, fruits, flowers, and some kusha grass for the yajna. But then on the way, he saw that on the way home, he came upon a Shudra, very lusty, fourth class man who was shamelessly embracing and kissing a prostitute. The Shudra was smiling, singing, and enjoying as if this were proper behavior. Um, I think we were discussing on Saturday. Maybe for a Shudra, this is not a big punishable deed, but Ajamil was a Brahmana. Huh? And so when he saw this scene, such was the condition in which Ajamil saw them. And then what happened? That's why, yeah. There is also something else we can take it. While traveling along the public way, Ajamil came across the fourth class man. So this is what is explained. For such a brahmachari to remain steady is very difficult unless he is extremely strong in following the regulative principles. So that's why we should never think that, okay, I I am advancing. I am dedicated my life. I have a guru. I have no. One should never be alone. The material energy is strong. The energy itself is very, very strong, but also our determination is not strong. So when these two things, it's a matter of time. So here it said, nevertheless, if one takes to Krishna consciousness very seriously, he can withstand the provocation created by sin. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we prohibit illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. In Kali Yuga, a drunk, half naked woman embracing a drunk man is a very common sight, especially in the Western countries. And restraining oneself after seeing such things is very difficult. Nevertheless, if by the grace of Krishna one adheres to the regulative principles and chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Krishna will certainly protect him. Indeed, Krishna says that his devotee is never vanquished. And therefore, this is what he says. If if you follow this, the regulative principles and chanting, then there need be no fear. Otherwise, one's position is a very dangerous, especially in this Kali Yuga. दृष्ट्वा तां कामलिप्तेन बाहुना परिरम्भितां जगामहृच्छय वशं सहसैव विमोहितः. And then what happened when Ajamil saw her? The dormant, lusty desires in his heart awakened, and in illusion he fell under their control. In illusion, huh? And this illusion is due to what? Lust. So influence of lust is always there. It's only that we are kind of parking it by neglecting it. And when we neglect it at some time or the other, it will just come back. It is said that if one's body is made with turmeric, it attracts the lusty desires of the opposite sex. The word kamaliptena indicates that the Shudra was decorated with turmeric smeared on his body. I don't know what it means. So, स्तंभयन् आत्मानं यावत् सत्वं यथा श्रुतं न शशाक समाधातुं मनो मदन विलेपितम्. So this is what happened, and because that he was, um, hmm, as far as possible, he patiently tried to remember the instructions of the Shastras, not even to see a woman, but he tried to control his lusty desires, but because of the force of Cupid, he failed. So we always put blame on someone else. We don't take responsibility of our own self. If we messed up, we messed up. It's why to involve Kamadev here. So it is that what I'm saying. Okay. Sense control is very difficult when Cupid shoots arrows. Yeah. Here we are saying that. But what is important is controlling with intelligence mind is the key. But when intelligence is lost, or when we don't even read scriptures, there is no intelligence. And mind is anyway out of control. We are not holding it, then mind drags us. So the real Gyani means one who is strong in remembering knowledge received, instructions received, who is patient and proper bodily, mental, and intellectual behavior to control senses. This is what he has said. A Brahmana, you see, uh, even a fully qualified Brahman I described could not control his luxuries and restrain from pursuing them. So strong it is. Because of the force of materialistic life, a man to maintain self-control is extremely difficult unless one is specifically under the protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How? Through devotional service. तन्निमित्त स्मरव्याज ग्रहग्रस्तो विचेतनं ताम एव मनसा ध्यायन् स्वधर्मान् विररामः. So in the same way, when the sun, when the eclipse happens, then this Brahmana lost all his good fortune, just like when eclipse covers, there is no sun and moon for a while. taking advantage of the situation, he always thought of the prostitute, and within a short time, he took her as a servant. This is what happened. So the mind will start justifying what we do, and the mind will, the intelligence, when it is already lost. So the intelligence backs up our thoughts, and whatever we do, yeah, we try to justify and go on. So in this way, by speaking this verse, Shukadev Goswami wants to impress upon the mind of the reader that Ajamil's exalted position as a Brahmana was vanquished by his association with the prostitute, so much so that he forgot all his Brahmanical activities. So, forgot. This is important. Not that he lost, he forgot all his Brahmanical activities. He stopped doing anything. That was the reason for his fall down. Uh, Forgetting is one thing, and because of that, he stopped doing all the activities. If one, this is the root cause of Ajamil's fall down. Uh, Nevertheless, at the end of his life, by chanting the four syllables of the name Narayana, he was saved from the gravest danger of falling down. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahata bhayat. This is very devotional service, which begins with the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, is so powerful that even if one falls down from the exalted position of a Brahmana through sexual indulgence, he can be saved from all calamities if he somehow or other chants the holy name of the Lord. Uh, so that's why it's so important. Satatam kirtayantamam yadantascha dridavratah. This is it is mentioned that one, it's advised that one not forget the chanting. There are so many dangers in this material world that one may fall down from the exalted position at any time. Yet if one keeps himself always pure and steady by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, Maha mantra, he will be safe without a doubt. ताम एव तोषयाम आशा पित्रे प्रत्येनार्थेन यावत ग्रामेर मनोरमैः कामैः प्रसीदेत यथा तथा. And then what happened, because of in the sense enjoyment, thus Ajamil began spending whatever money he had inherited from his father to satisfy the prostitute with various material presentations so that she would remain pleased with him. He gave up all his Brahminical activities to satisfy this prostitute. To the extent Viprans Bharyam Apraudham Kule Mahati Lambitam Visasarja Chirat Papaha Swairinyapanga Viddadi. Because his intelligence was pierced by lustful glance of the prostitute, the victimized Ajamil engaged in sinful acts in her association. He even gave up the company of his very beautiful young wife, who came from a very respectable family. All gone. Uh, so here, in this way, instead of engaging the money in the service of Krishna, he engaged it in the service of a prostitute. Therefore, he was condemned and was punishable by Yamaraj. Huh? Why? Because he was victimized by the dangerous, lustful glance of prostitute. Yatas tatas chopaninye somehow or the other. How did he manage it? Yathas tathas, somehow or the other, wherever, whatever, however possible. Nyayato, nyayato dhanam, nyayato, anyayato dhanam. Yeah, either rightfully or not. Bharya Rasya Kutumbinya Kutumbam Manda Dhir Ayam. So, although born of a Brahmana family, this Ajamil, bereft of intelligence because of prostitutes' association, earned money somehow or other, regardless of whether properly or improperly, and used it to maintain the prostitutes' sons and daughters. And then Yada so Shastram Ullanghya. Shastra Ullanga means to transgress shastras. Svairchari ati garhitah avartatah chiram kalam aghayur asuchir malat. Yeah, he's saying, therefore, this Brahman irresponsibly spent his long lifetime transgressing all rules and regulations of holy scriptures, living extravagantly and eating food prepared by a prostitute. Therefore, he is full of sins, he is unclean and is addicted to forbidden activities. Now we have to understand food prepared by an unclean, sinful man or woman, especially a prostitute, is extremely infectious. In the case of Ajamil, who had a full fund of knowledge, intelligence, and everything is gone, Ajamil, he just brought her as his servant, maid servant, and the maid servant messed up everything. Ajamil ate such food and therefore he was subjected to be punished by Yamaraj. तथा एनं दंडपाणे सकाशं कृत किल्बिषं नेस्यामो कृत निर्वेशं यत्र दंडेन सुध्यते. And now that's why they came. This man Ajamil did not undergo atonement. Therefore, because of his sinful life, we must take him into the presence of Yamaraj for punishment. Therefore, according to the extent of his sinful acts, he will be punished and thus purified. So, yes, Yamaraj, and of course, who created the Yamaloka, who created the leader of it, everything is set up by the Lord. For what? For purification. He will be punished and thus purified. So, the Vishnu Dutas have forbidden the Yamadutas to take Ajamil, and Yamadutas have explained all the reasons. Therefore, Yamadutas requested the Vishnu Dutas not to obstruct their taking Ajamil to Yamaraj. Anyway, so they were weird. Okay. Yes, and yeah, we will continue the next chapter, which is going to give more about. Okay, then what will happen if this is the case? It looks quite risky business, and Ajamil, what will happen to him is yeah. The points that Yamaduta said have surprised Vishnudutas. For us, it looks, yeah, all sense, right? One who makes mistake, he should be punished. One who should um, uh, do good deeds, he should be awarded, and all these things. But Vishnuduta says, "Oh, what happened to you guys? Let me explain you." And then Vishnuduta started explaining how uh, how is that Ajamil is not a suitable candidate for Yamaloka. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Prabhuji, I
Krishna.
had a question about women, if they are also similar to men, are also prone to lust.
Sorry, say again.
Women are also prone to lust like men, or it is only men who are prone to fall in lust?
No, I mean, here we are also seeing a prostitute, and definitely lust is affecting everyone. Huh?
Hmm.
So it's not okay only, yeah. Um, but I think in one of the references we come across that, yeah, there are different kinds of women. Yeah, I mean, when one reads Garuda Puran, there is a description of different kinds of men, different kinds of women, and different kinds are categorized based on lust or desires, purity, chastity, so many factors. So it's not all are same.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yeah, and for that matter, yeah, when we read, when we come across that Prabhupada mentions, yeah, just like how women can qualify themselves to become great devotees, right? Not only like only men can become pujaris, right? Prabhupada said, no, for on a spiritual platform, men and women are alike, equal. So on a material platform, it's the same. Men and women are alike.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Prabhuji, about another question I had about this punishment, this narka lok, that
Mm.
yeah, for example, this punishment for the host who does not accept the guest with the good mood when
Mm-hmm.
he sees the guests with not good sight, then
Mm-hmm.
these birds, yeah, some birds like vultures, or they
Cultures.
pluck
Mm.
out the eyes. So I was, yeah, I was feeling like it is yeah, unsymmetrical, or yeah, somewhat more punishment than that of the offense.
Mm. But we don't know, right, how big offense it is. We are thinking it is very simple. That's why you feel it's not justifying.
Mm-hmm.
Someone coming to your door means they need something, right?
Mm.
A one who is in need, and if you don't take care of such a needy person, what kind of a person we are?
So it is not only that one is angry or something, but someone wants that person not to come at all, or like that.
Yeah, he doesn't welcome someone. He doesn't want. Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Mm. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Then we will cover the next chapter tomorrow. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो निरंतराक्ष श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय निताय गौर प्रेम हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.